Are we keeping distance?
You shouldn't be in any kind of groups at all, unfortunately. That's the whole point of what we're trying to do.
But it isn't the key, the distance.
Yeah, and it's groups as well. You can't be stood around in groups, unfortunately.
Well, on groups of two.
Well, they were there and we were here. He was helping me with something with work.
And we consistently happen to come and speak to everybody here.
I don't know how long you had observed us, but I literally had just come up to him to ask him something.
Okay, that's fine. We're just doing our job.
Okay, all right.
I'd rather not be doing this.
Well, it's just that the police are circling around all the time and they don't seem to have a problem.
We are police.
The police or PCSOs?
Police.
Okay,
Yeah, okay. What does that say on there?
okay.
What does it say?
We work for the police.
Excuse me?
What does it
Are you
say?
trying to make me say that?
We work for the police.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't. What's the issue?
Did I say there was an issue?
No, but you said, the police are circling around all the time and don't seem to have a problem.
I'm not sure how that's an issue. That's just my opinion.
Right, but we work for the police. So
Okay.
I don't understand what you're getting at.
So what are you getting at?
Well, I'm asking you what you meant.
What I said? I understand you're doing a job and I appreciate that, okay?
Yeah.
We're trying to do a job too. I asked him for help. I acknowledge what you've said. Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Right, a little bit of a backstory. Yes, every day is a drama. So I'm following rules, riding around in circles, so I'm not outside of restaurants because according to Deliveroo that can cause problems. Fair enough, I don't take issue with that. So I'm riding around in circles, and as you guys know, I had my e-bike stolen and I'm trying to get some kind of replacement for this e-bike. I spent the whole of yesterday researching this, and I didn't come any closer to finding a solution. And as I was doing my laps, I spotted Gigi, who's basically got more knowledge of using e-bikes than the guy who made the Sinclair C1. The guy is e-bike Yoda. I'm not saying he can build them, but he knows bikes. He knows the brands. He just knows about stuff, right? I see him. He's got somebody else standing, I don't know, 2 or 3, probably more than 3. Could have been 3 or 4 meters away from him. There was a fence in between them. There was even a fence between me and Gigi. I approach. They weren't even having a conversation. And I say, here, Gigi, what do you think of this battery? And I tell him this battery that I found. He starts telling me about it. This whole probably took about 1 minute. We kept our distance. And all of a sudden, I hear something along the lines of, should you be doing that? Should you be doing that, though? Like in a real passive-aggressive, condescending, just annoying way. Like, there's ways of saying things, there's ways of being respectful, and this wasn't one of them. Unfortunately, I didn't have the camera running at that point. So I immediately, boop, pressed the button, said, excuse me, and that's where you're picking it up, right? Now, I think it's pretty clear that what I was referring to when I said police, and just to clarify, I've gone on to the Gov page talking about the difference between police officers and PCSOs, and I'm going to read it just so I'm being clear. So police community support officers work with police officers and share some but not all of their powers. PCSOs can, for example, give someone a fixed penalty notice, e.g. for littering, demand the name and address of someone being antisocial, take alcohol off of a person aged under 18. A PCSO can ask a police officer to arrest a person, and then the powers of the PCSO can vary depending on which police force they work for. Okay, do you think it was clear that I was referring to police officers when I said the police? And is this not just more passive-aggressive? That's one thing that I take issue with. The second thing that I take issue with is what is the difference between Deliveroo doing a job which supposedly are key workers. Some might laugh at me saying that, but supposedly we are, according to the government. And road workers, restaurant workers, delivery drivers, people that work in logistics. Are these PCSOs going up to these people saying, now, you can't be in groups of more than 2? So apart from the fact that this whole thing took less than a minute before they arrived on the scene, like, what is the point of being so passive aggressive? Like, you guys know me. Do you think that I'm a disrespectful person? Like, do you think that I deliberately go out to break these rules? And did I even break the rules? What I'm going to do, right? This has really, really annoyed me, as you can tell. But I'm going to try and make this a positive thing out of a negative thing. After this happened, I rode around for about an hour in the town centre trying to find another police officer or PCSO. I'll give them a fair shout, and I'm going to get their opinion or the rules of this group rule in reference to people who work for Uber and Deliveroo. I want them to tell me the difference between somebody who works on the road, digging up the road, which is still going on, building sites, which is still going on, restaurants, which is still going on, things like supermarkets, chemists, etc., etc. I want to know what the difference is between them and us. Some of those work in the public space, some of them work in private property. But people like road workers and construction work and stuff, a lot of that's done in public. So how is that any different from us? And are they going around telling these people that they can't be in a group more than two? I would like them to answer that question. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel a bit better now. I vented. Maybe I overreacted, but I just don't see the point of people throwing their weight around, being like disrespectful, passive aggressive. It's just completely not necessary. If they approached us and said, hey, you know the government rules are no groups bigger than two, then I would have gone, yeah, you are right, but how does that work in relation to us? And then we would have had a constructive discussion and everything would have been fine. But instead, I've annoyed them, they've annoyed me, and it's been completely pointless. So I worked 2 hours in total at lunchtime. I might go back out this evening. So in that 2 hours, I earned £3.50. So not only have I got my e-bike stolen, not only have I earned, what's that, 150, 175 per hour, I've also got PCSOs needlessly being passive aggressive to me. Is this really necessary? Am I overreacting? What's your opinion? Unfortunately, I didn't catch the very start of it. But that's what really wound me up. That's what ground my gears and put me in a bad mood to start with. Yeah, I probably could have handled it better, but in that moment, I don't know.